We've actually just been sitting out about, look at that. I'm gonna say about 20, 30 minutes. Right now we're just gonna start glazing it or sprinkling it with any kind of citrus you like. I don't use like oranges or anything, but lemon and lime. All right, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna do a little bit more outside cooking, but we're gonna get a little bit more in depth to how do we actually prepare for cooking. We're so excited to have Wild Badger to sponsor this video, to send us a chainsaw. We want to show you how we actually go throughout the yard, the size logs we actually use to cut, how we start our cooking, outdoor cooking. So this is going to be just like a full tutorial. Let's go outside. Let's get to cutting because we're getting hungry. We got to cook something outside. So let's show you how we actually go around the property with our other chainsaws using this brand new Wild Badger series chainsaw. It says CSB 40U. So this is the actual brand. This is the series it is. That sounds good. Let's go check it out. All right, so remember, you want to keep your brake on and always use these. Even though people don't like to put these on, I just like to always use them. It protects the actual chainsaw, the blade, and your hand in case of a mistake that somebody turns it on. Now I got over here, I got some wood I actually cut about a year ago. I just left the branch laying on the ground. This is what we actually are looking for. When we start the cooking, we're looking for some of the smallest sticks we can find. And we got a whole bunch under here. So a lot of our cooking wood is wood we've used to clean up. The only reason I left this under here is because I'm not a fan of the pine tree. It actually drops all of its limbs as it grows up. And you don't want to be under it when it drops those limbs. So this one here I just cut and got away from. So what I'm gonna do is I had a little oak growing up over here. So these are prime pieces here. But we don't just want to cook. I want to get in and test out this Wild Badger. I want to get this branch over here. And this branch is falling apart. I mean, it's prime for good cooking wood. Like I said, it's been here about a year. And what I'll do is I'll show you, I'll probably try to cut a fresh piece of wood when we finish off of something. And right here, I'm really not just watching out for that, I'm watching out for that ground. This has been right here a while, so anything could be sleeping. You know what I mean? I don't know if this is going to be a good candidate. Good candidate for some wood, but not a good candidate for cutting because it's already finished. I can break this apart with my hand. I mean, it's just coming apart. Look at that. Beautiful for me. I mean, amazing for me, really. And we get to clean up a little bit. But I do got a piece over there that's not cut yet. And I'll go up in there and we'll cut that out. And once again, I'm just gonna take this off. Just follow me, Bells. I'll try to make it as safe as I can make it by going in first. Should have had me a little stick. So tap around first. Over my head. I just don't want this in here. What I'll do is I'll come in over here first. Make sure my brake is off. I want to cut this one out. So you can see this is going to be easy work for a chainsaw like this. Get some of these little pieces out the way. I mean, like butter. That's like butter. I knew that was gonna be easy work. The thing about a chainsaw is it's not like, is it a good chainsaw? It's, are you gonna keep up with it? Are you gonna make sure you got that oil? And like me, you know, don't run out of your bar and chain oil. Are you gonna bring it, or find some chainsaw sharpeners, some way to keep your chain sharp? Because that's where the cutting is. You see the power it has. You just gotta figure whether or not it's gonna stay sharp. And no saw, no chainsaw on the market I've found with a chain that just stays sharp. It's always gonna be some kind of way. You gotta put some effort into it. So, I mean, you can come in, I can clean some of this out. Guess I should say we should have some glasses on, number one. But it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool saw. Basically, I can trim all of this down. So always let it get full. Always let it get full steam before you touch it on it with any kind of chainsaw. Let it go before you just put it on there so it can be going, running. You got a big one on the backside right there. Real easy, sharp work. And what I like about it is when you stop, it stops. I can put this down and I'm not just steady running my gas out. You're not just constantly running gas. I'm gonna put the wet ones over here. So this needs to dry a little bit. I don't really cook with wood that's too dry. But right here, I mean, this is nothing to cut. I don't even want to do them a disservice on trying to cut this. As you can see, just chopping these up. This is how I would do it anyway. Just find a nice size for me to actually put on our little grill. Probably about right here is, I'm gonna say, perfect size. And it looks wet right now, so of course it'll have to be a little bit more drier. And we'll take these pieces, once we finish, we'll take these pieces and we'll go to the back. So give me a second. We're gonna break a couple of these down. A lot of this is gonna be by hand. No need to use a saw. And just break a couple of pieces down and we'll be right back. Generally, cooking outside becomes more of a love than a skill. At first, it seems like a skill when you're not buying the charcoal from the store and you're just using the abundance of, I mean, look around us. It's wood everywhere. How can you not utilize it? And you don't even have to cut a tree down, really. It's enough dead branches around here that we can cook all year long. It's just understanding. Now, I use this sometimes. Sometimes I use just a lighter. Like I did today, a lighter and some paper. But you could get the little firing rods and all those things and just practice on different ways to make fire. But for the most part, you keep you some dry wood somewhere, and you always have, just always, you got a source for fuel, basically, like gas. But this is the fuel here. How we generally started, just gonna get that up there. Small, small, small sticks, as small as you can. And that's what's gonna help your fire actually just go crazy. And these generally, the smaller the sticks are, the reason why people use them is the drier they are. The smaller sticks get drier way faster than the bigger sticks. And then if you was watching our last video, like we were cooking, it's just kind of how it goes. You can see how fast that's starting to catch. And as these little small ones, and I don't want that much fire, I'm just talking. That's a little too much for me now. So I don't go back to the smaller sticks anymore because they just flame up super fast. At a certain point, I'm gonna move this over a little bit. At a certain point, you just want to use the bigger sticks because they're gonna burn slower and they're not gonna give you as much flame. So as those kind of flame out for me, you can look up in there on this side. You see how that small stick is just flaming, and the bigger sticks are taking more time. That's why that fire just kicked up like that. Now I'm gonna wait till that burns off, then I'll add this. So what we got here today is I got some yellowtail and I got some bass. Look at that striped bass, looks good, doesn't it? And I just like to keep the fish whole, scale it and gut it. But you can tell. And we got these little things from like the Asian store.
Yes.
It really is just like little fish holders.
It was like $6.99.
Yeah.
$5.99.
Something like that a piece. Yeah. Generally, this is too much flame for cooking outside.
Not unless you're cooking some soup.
Yeah. You almost have to have that pot on top of here to have, then you want flame. But when you're doing outdoor grilling, you really just want just more heat from these bigger pieces of wood, really. And even at a point, you can stop putting these small sticks like this size. You can see how they still hold some flame as well. And you will go, then you will start graduating to the bigger pieces that actually burn from under the bottom to just let that heat stay around. So just like this one, I can add this in here. I'm gonna move this out the way, And I just want to add this, and it'll take a while for this to kind of heat up anyway. And that'll just help me slow that fire down, block some of that fire. Because you can see how it's burning too fast. I don't want that. I want smoke and heat, but I don't really want flame. So wherever the flame is, I kind of just move it away from it until it kind of starts to die down. Looks good. I got the heat that I want now. Now I can just let this die down. And then once it's just straight wood, ash, or charcoal, or coal, whatever you want to call it, at that point, we just let it cook slowly. And just, it becomes a hangout then. It becomes hanging out with the family, kids outside, and just flipping. You ought to try this. You ought to try this. Get you a chainsaw. You get you some pieces of wood. You can cut you some pieces of wood. You can cut pieces like this. At a point, when they get to a certain point, you can just break them. But you kind of gotta, if you gotta get them out the trees, I would say it's gonna take about at least 3-4 months for a branch to kind of dry out that you cut, and give it that time. And once it dries out, you're ready to cook. We're gonna keep cooking, and we'll come back. I don't know what time it is now, but I think this is going to take about 35-40 minutes. At this point, we've actually just been sitting out about, look at that, I'm going to say about 20-30 minutes. Right now, we're just going to start glazing it or sprinkling it with any kind of citrus you like. I don't use like oranges or anything, but lemon and lime, calamander, yeah, sour orange. And all this lemon does is it just helps flavor the skin just a little bit. And it cooks that juice into the skin. But we're basically done now. So this is, like I said, it's not a skill once you start doing it. It kind of becomes more of just a fun time thing with your family. And you can kind of look in there and see it's no right or wrong way. As long as you got heat down there, if your heat tends to die down, you can add some sticks. But for the most part, I think having something small like this, and this isn't really small. We're gonna leave the link in the description. This is a nice size chainsaw. This is a 16-inch. If you want to know when they say how many inches, it's just based off of the blade, and you can see it right there. And they got 18 inches, 20 inches, and on up. But for a person at their home, I did good with just having like a 12, 14 inch. You can actually do a lot of home stuff. And like I said, by having electrical power or battery powered chainsaw, you don't have to do into all the thinking of how to start it, how to prime it, how to pump it, all of that. Basically, you buy the chainsaw and you find you some cheap bar oil, and that's basically all you need. And you just keep the battery charged. Look at those babies. Oh my gosh. You can just see, look at the lemon seed just sitting on. They glazed up. That's a beautiful color. Belle's got some rice out. We already started eating on some fish Belle's that actually cooked. So I guess we're gonna eat that fish for lunch, and this here will be nice and ready for dinner. But we'll probably get started on it a little bit now. So the smoke bar, that's one thing. You kind of want to just watch the smoke a little bit. Not good for your respiratory system. The only reason I'm like this up on it is because I'm doing the video. But for the most part, you just stay away. Whichever way the wind blows, you just got to learn to move around or just be standoffish. But that's it. I really wanted to, I know a couple of people that seen the video was like, how, boy, I wish I could do that. It's real simple to do. Just keep in mind, you don't have to go to the store and buy that charcoal. You got all the charcoal you need, and you got it right here. So thank y'all for watching the Grow Family Network. Got our dipping sauce too. As always, grow, grow, grow. Peace. Don't forget, thank our sponsor. Y'all be good. Simple. I think most products that you get now are going to be more kind of like based for like an end user. They want the lowest of the low as far as know-how to be able to use these products. So this is going to come with a charger. What I like about battery operated chainsaws, as far as the two that I have already, is I like that they actually cut just as good as gas powered chainsaws. A lot of times you get gas powered versus battery powered equipment, and it really don't match up. But do keep in mind that these batteries kind of replace gas because they're not going to last forever. The charge is going to go down on them over time. But this seems to be a nice battery that holds charge longer. You'll still be able to charge them. You just won't be able to get as much use out of them. So just say they start with 45 minutes per charge. By 6 months to a year, 6 to 9 months, you may be down to 40 minutes. And then so on. Within a year, you're down to about 30 minutes. And it just starts to degrade every time you charge it. So as it comes out of the box, you just want to make sure it's charged. Sorry. And basically, you just plug it up. They're going to have a charger icons here. I'll bring it to you, Belle. You got to move. And also on the battery, they're going to have charge icons. Now, I've already charged this one, but basically when you press that button, it'll show you whether or not it's charged or needs to be charged. Well, it should have. Yeah, it did. All right. So it's all green. But basically, you just put this together and charge it. Whenever I do these tutorial videos, I always make sure that I take the batteries out first and charge them before I start the video. Because if not, then in the middle of the video, I have to stop and actually charge the battery. So I didn't want to do that. Basically, so this is going to be real easy. It comes with the base. All right. The battery goes in the top. You got a little oil. Now you do have to buy the chain oil, what they call bar oil, but you can get any generic bar oil anywhere. Don't worry about the name brand or anything. We got a blade here, which is the chain is going to go on, and the chain is in here. So what I'm going to do is, now it's supposed to have, I don't see it, but it's supposed to have, oh, there it goes. I'm like, where is that at? So here's a little spot they got for it. This is what you're going to use the tool for, to actually take your blade and put it on and off. So what we're going to do is just unscrew that, and it's already kind of ready to be unscrewed. So we're going to use this more so for tightening. So we're going to take these two little screws off. I'm going to set it right to the side. And then they got one screwdriver screw in there. So this is going to come with everything you need. And once we get this screw out of here, this whole top is going to come off. This plate is going to be ready to come off. All right. I don't know if that even stopped it at all. I thought that screw was holding it, but I don't think it was. I think it's just the tension. Looks like it was just the tension bar. Yep, that was just the tensioner. So kind of how this goes is this is going to go in here. And it's going to be hooked to here. Right. But and that'll be a tensioner to pull the tension on it. Looks really good. Let's get this chain. I'm not gonna worry about things that you can do for these chains. I don't know if they come pre-sharpened, but you can sharpen your chains. But usually when they come, they're kind of ready to go. And basically, you just got this chain open. You're gonna put it on the bar. Now if you look inside, there are little grooves up here for you to have something to grab hold to. I like to make sure mines are in those little grooves when I'm holding it or when I'm putting them on. And that's how you know you got a good, it's gonna grip well. And this is gonna go on the back side of this. Make sure that comes back a little bit more. Looks like I need to bring that tensioner back. Where did I put that? Back that up. Just so we can get that on. So if you're finding that you don't have enough space, you're gonna have to use this little screwdriver head just to give you space on the back. See how it gets on there now? And I like to just make sure that it's on there. Where did my tension go? Then I'm gonna put that tensioner and start back tightening up that chain a little bit. Didn't see this little part was off. Gotta pack it up. That little piece that's out. All right. Now we can finish it off. All right. So right here, we got it on. I'm gonna take this plate. I'm gonna put this plate right back on just to cover it up. All right. Making sure that it's gonna hold. And remember, this is gonna be a tension. Or if you think your chain is too tight, if it starts to get too loose, that's what that's for. Right. So I want to put this on, and you can use, if you had some other kind of wrench, like this is just a free wrench. I'm using everything that came with the actual product, but usually I would have like a little socket wrench. Makes it a little bit faster. All right, so this is on. It's tight. You can see, I mean, I got a little play in it, so I think that's good enough. But if I wanted it looser than that, then you would just righty tighty, lefty loosey. You just want to loosen it up. But I think this is good enough. Let's see. All right, so before you get it started, remember, I don't have any power. With battery powered equipment, you got to be really careful, because once you put the battery in it, you can't be holding it just because you haven't cranked it up. So that's the one thing that from a safety aspect, just remember, keep the battery out at all times. So we got our little brake, and it tells you push it this way to lock it. That's what it has, a little arrow on it, and you pull it back this way to unlock it. So we want it unlocked. You got the little reservoir. I got a little bit of oil over here. I'm going to take this oil, some bar and chain oil. It's an old bottle. I was like, where am I going to find some oil at for this? I haven't been using my chainsaws lately, but I got enough oil to do a little something in there. I'm not going to use this long, but go out and find you some bar and chain oil. I don't think it matters the brand. I hope that's a little bit. Not going to be cutting for long. I'll show you how it looks. Okay, put the top back on it. That probably didn't even put a dent in. I thought they had more in that bottle than that. Let me show you how it looks. So it's right there. It should be up to here, but we got enough to start a video. We got enough for a video. Basically, like I said, this is already charged. It does have a little clamp for you to take it off, because earlier I was like, why is it not coming off? And then I thought about it. It's just like if you put it in here to take the battery part off, you gotta pull that down and take it out. Now once you put this in, you'll see the little connections down up in there. Once you put it in, I think I gotta turn it on. Let's see. Okay.